We want to thank you all for joining us this evening. That was just our updates. This evening's topic is how to get your business off to a fast start. And we're going to be going through some ideas and concepts here for you, and Steve is going to take the lead on this, and I may have some commentary in the middle, or Steve may just say everything that I was going to say anyway. So we'll just take this from the beginning, and with that having been said, I'm going to turn the time over to Mr. Steve Smith.
As we said, how important is it to get your business off to a fast start? And why is that? And folks, being in this industry for 40 years, I've had some great mentors. And, having the opportunity to have those mentors and teaching and training, the importance of doing that, not only just for me personally, but as well as for the people that I recruit into my business, into my organization. How important is it, and why do you kind of develop this philosophy? Because people, we all certainly have different personalities, right? And some people they're just go-getters. I mean, that they're out there, they're aggressive, they go after it, they do whatever it takes. They have people that are kind of middle of the road, and then sometimes you have people that barely get started. Sometimes they don't even get started. But what we want to share with you tonight is the importance of getting started for those individuals, from the aggressive person to the person who's really just kind of thinking of whether they're going to get started. We want to help change your attitude about that and why it's important. So if you want your company or business to be big, you've got to have a system in place. And that's what we've been able to do, is have a system in place for people to follow. If you don't have that, like these trainings we're talking about, if you don't have this training, you don't have a way that you go through and you learn how to do the analysis, you learn how to give a presentation, you learn how to close the sale, you learn how to recruit someone, you learn what's my next step with that new recruit. Without that system in place, you're not going to build a big organization and a big company. Most people don't see themselves being big, though. I know when I got in this industry 40 years ago, folks, I came from the construction industry. What did I know about sales and building and all that type of stuff? I never thought about that before, but along the way, you need to paint that picture and start to understand and look around, like these leaders that we showed you on here tonight. In your team, on your organization, you need to find out who these people are, and you need to follow what they do and take their guidance and what they say. They're not going to lead you wrong. They're going to get you off to the right track. Great builders, and these are people who, again, we're not going to go off into this because it's a whole different subject we talk between recruiters and builders. But builders are a person that wants to take their team, follow the system. They're going to do training classes on Saturday. They're going to do an opportunity meeting during the week. They're going to do communication with their team. They're going to, hey, do you need help? Do you have an appointment? What do you have set up? What can I help you do that can help you have more appointments, get more recruits? What do we need to do to work towards getting you a bigger circle of influence? So great builders of any kind, coaches, entrepreneurs, anybody who's rely on some workable, predictable, and duplicatable system. And that's what we've been able to do. Develop that duplicatable system that other people can just plug into and follow that. You're not looking for personality, you're looking for a system builder. As I share with people this weekend and on most opportunities that I have to do training, I talk to people about becoming a chameleon. And that's that animal that gets in different environments and it changes its colors, right? Well, that's what you want to do. You want to become that chameleon. You're not looking to go out and change people and their personality. You're looking, how can I work with these individuals? What can I do to motivate them? So if you're a true builder, you're looking for someone else who has the ability to work with other people, who has the ability to develop those attitudes and those work ethics to go along with the people they're recruiting and that they're building along the way.
And to have those that work ethic, that's a big piece of why the system comes together. You're going to find that you're going to have some recruits that are going to tell you they don't need to use a system. We see that all the time. You know, oh, I've done this, or I've sold this before.
Or they reinvent it.
Yeah, they either reinvent it, or they say, no, what I've done for the last 10 years has worked well for me, so I'm just going to engage the same system. What I want to really hinge on here with this slide is the system is not one that we think works, we know works, we're watching it works. And when you have a system that does work, you don't need to go out and develop a whole bunch of new materials. You don't need to go out and develop a new system. You don't need to find a new avenue. The system's already there. So if I could encourage anyone, follow the systems that are in place, and that's why we want everybody training the same systems as we go.
On Monday, on these calls on Monday nights, and we'll say it now, but we're gonna get this message out. These calls are actually going to be starting to move to Tuesday nights, okay? To Tuesday nights, and we'll be getting that out to everyone. We'll make sure that you know it. But it's just like having these calls on Monday nights are important so that we can do some aspect of training. We can't, Mac and I could not tell you enough, and I promise you your leader could not tell you enough, to attend a live meeting somewhere. Folks, it is so critical and important to helping you advance and move your business along. It's phenomenal what it can do. We can't encourage you enough to do that. And look, find the next event, find the closest place to you that you can go. Make every effort that you can to make sure you're there, keeps you on track, and you're going to find out that what we teach is duplicatable. As you recruit and build your business, you can put people in a system that you know exactly what to teach them, you know what they need to know to have success, and that they can take that in turn and teach it. That's what duplication is. And so if they don't have that system, then how are you going to be able to repeat the information, this sales system, like the GPS system? It is something that works, and it works the vast majority of every sale, every time a presentation is given, it leads to success. So that's what we're going to be teaching and helping. So learn the system, get on as much training as you can, watch the videos, get on, plug yourself into whatever you can to be that sponge to learn whatever you need to have success. A system shows you exactly what you need to arrive at your destination, but you gotta determine what is my destination. You got to know that your destination is where you want to end up. Where do you want to end up at? Do you want to end up making X number of dollars a year? You want to make $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $300,000 a year? What is your goal? Where do you want to go with this? Do you want to be an executive director? Once you set your goals and what you want to determine to be, work towards that destination. And how do I get there? Learn that from your leader. You want to recruit duplication and multiplication. One of the things that happens in the beginning of our business is addition. When you start recruiting people, you're adding people on. You're going out there and you're talking to Bill, or you're talking to Joe, or you're talking to Mary, and you're talking to them about the business, how they can possibly have success in it, why it's good, how it helps other people. And so you start adding 1, 2, 3. Then all of a sudden, as you're working through those people and helping them get new recruits, helping them build their business, guess what happens? Multiplication. Folks, I've raised 8 children, okay? And to this point, I have 6 of them that have children. I don't know how many of y'all know this. I have about 18 grandchildren.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, for a 45-year-old. But guess what? It was addition at first, right?
Yeah.
But when they started having children, it was the multiplication factor. This business is the same thing. You add and you multiply, and then the numbers start to just take off on you.
Exponentially, it grows.
Yep. New recruits have to be willing to follow a proven, successful system. Mac, maybe why don't you just you've been doing this a long time. We've been doing it together. How important is that?
I got to tell you, the lead title is "What is the system?" Following the system, it has several reasons behind it, especially if the system is already proven. And we'll go a little bit deeper into this, but what is a system? A system is a proven methodology to get from point A to point B. And if you have a recruit that's not willing to follow the system, so to speak, that doesn't mean that you alienate that individual, but you might have difficulty in getting sales out of them because of the trial and error period. So make sure that your people are willing to be, I would say, what this whole first part is about. Find people that are teachable. You're not always going to agree with maybe their views or maybe even their personalities in some areas, but to build a good company, to build a good organization, you're focusing on a person's individual talents. And so you might have somebody that's really great at, doing administrative things, and another person that's great at just meeting people out of nowhere, and another person that's really good with numbers or that side of it. So the system is following what is in place and then setting goals so that you can maximize your success. So right now we're going to start talking about getting your business off to a fast start. And I think the best place to start, Steve, wouldn't you think, is sign up your agent. That's your best part.
Yeah,
that's where it all starts. I mean, I don't think we can start in another place.
No, I mean, as simple as that sounds, and I got a text from Heidi, and she had told us this weekend. I mean, truly, talking about the system, the GPS selling system, she made 45 sales without missing a sale. 45, folks. That system works. Now, for the first time in the last week or so, she did miss 2. But hey, listen, that's a 93, 94% closing ratio, folks. It works. It is proven. So when you come on board with United Financial Freedom, you've got that system that you can count on working. So should you follow your upline? Should you follow the person that's teaching you that GPS system? Absolutely you should. So like Max said, hey, first it starts off with signing up as an agent, getting your back office, getting the information, getting the videos, plugging into that information. Now, one of the things that I'm going to share with you when it comes to getting off to a fast start, look, I know this, I get it, I understand it, I've been in the business a long time. People feel, well, I need to know everything. I need to know a lot. I need to know this. Folks, I'm telling you, you will never, ever learn everything. You'll never learn everything to say or what to do until you get out there and you start doing it, until you get on a presentation with your trainer, until you go through the analysis and the presentation and the close, until you experience what it is to go through and recruit someone. So is it important to do that? Absolutely. Oops, sorry about that. So sign up as an agent, then walk the new recruit through their own analysis so that they can see how it works for them, okay? Go through the GPS selling system with the new agent. Show them how the system works, why it's successful. Understand the rules of engagement, okay?
So, one thing I would like to do is with you notice we wrote up there, walk the new recruit through their own analysis. One of the things you're going to find about building, the other thing that you're going to find about getting your sales done, we want the individual to understand the product and understand what it is that they're getting involved in. And I think walking them through their own analysis, their situation kind of broadens their understanding of the product to a degree, as well as does the demonstration. The GPS selling system, the reason you want to take them through that analysis, and I want to tell you this, you want to take them through the analysis and take them through the GPS selling system with their analysis. That's the point that we're trying to make there is just because you recruited a new agent, don't sit them down and change your process. So if you just recruited a new agent, one of the first things you should do is sit down and say, hey, let's run your analysis and use the same process. My process is usually a two-step process. I'm going to, today we're going to run your analysis. We're going to look at your results tomorrow. Take them through the exact same process that they would be taking their new prospect or new, client or agent prospect through. So have a system that works for that. And that's the only reason I just wanted to connect those two together, as the GPS selling system is not just take them through how to do the GPS selling system, use the GPS selling system on them so they see it in action. I guess it's better. And you're going to have the best success, right, at getting your recruit to purchase the product. And here's what I think a lot of people don't understand. Many times we think we're too long-winded. I think if you don't go through a sales system with your client, you do your client an injustice. Because you may miss points and things that the system's developed to take it from point A to point B, which is the close of the sale.
I think, you just made me think about something, Mac. You made me think about, the old saying, perception is reality, but really in this, perception isn't the reality part. The reality is their numbers, their analysis, what it does for them, how much interest it's going to save them when they're going to get out of debt. And all of a sudden, the somewhat perception of how good it is really does turn into reality for them, okay? So you go through the GPS selling system with a new agent. You share with them the rules of engagement. What do you have to do? What do you need to do to get started, to get going? Go through the presentation of the results of what their analysis is. Close the sale. So you're doing that. It might be with a new recruit. It might be just with a prospective client. And so you're going to go through the same process to teach them that. If they qualify, if a new recruit qualifies for the program, then they look at their numbers and they can purchase it. Folks, you do not have to purchase a program to be a part of our company. That's not what we're about. We're about helping people. And if a person comes on board our company, they have zero debt and they don't have any future plans of owning more real estate or putting money away, maybe they don't need it. But we're not here to make that a fact. But I'll tell you, most people in America today are in debt. We have trillions of dollars of it, so it's proven that it is. So it's not a requirement to buy the product, but most people, they want it because they see how it helps them personally. Make sure the new recruit's familiar with their back office. It's really important, and again, I want to stress this. Is it important to understand what's on your back office, what's in your back office?
Well, think about this, too. We get, all too often, I think we get excited, and now we're in the era of social media for recruiting and things of this nature. I think we get caught up sometimes that we get so many responses or whatever. We're just so overwhelmed with the number of business that we shorten our process with our agents. But if you've identified the people that are, that are working, and what I mean by that is people that are just going out and getting results. They're bringing you name lists. They want to make phone calls. They're not telling you they don't understand this and don't understand this and don't understand this. I think it's really a responsibility, especially with the type of spread that you get in your commission, process and what we get in the way of overrides, that, as you're going up the levels, it's really incumbent upon you to train the people below you and train them throughout the entire process. And this back office is where they go to get them, lion's share of the information that they need and the tools that they need to run analysis, demos, have videos, have the written materials, everything that they need for it. So I think that back office, then we have the breakdowns, our replicated sites and things of that nature.
No, and the thing is, if the more that your new agent knows, the more that new recruit knows, the more understanding they have. Guess what it relates to? It relates to your income. So if you're looking to build a bigger income, then train better. Help that new person know more. Let them know where, about the opportunity site, the product site, the video site. Let them know about the calendar of events for webinars and training. That's so important so that they can plug into that stuff. So we want to make sure we don't give anyone an excuse for failure. We only want to give them excuses for success and reasons for success. So we're working very hard to create more materials, to create more and better videos, more and better systems that can help to build a market that you can go out there and build that success for you and your family.
You know, I've been in live meetings and I've had agents come up to me, and this kind of shocks me and says, well, where do I find the Monday night call? Where do I find the training videos? Well, where do I find that logo? Where do I find the demo script? Where do I, you know, and I'm not trying to be harsh there, you know, so I'm kind of being a little yank, but all the materials that you need are in your agent back office, and I really believe that the agents that are bringing on new agents, take the time to show, just take them on a tour. Have them make a note. Take them on a tour a little bit of the agent back office and show them, you know, these different things. And between you and I, we talked about this weekend. Our compensation plan and our policies and procedures. I truly believe that you bring on a new agent, well, most agents that come on are going to want to know about the compensation plan, but they're not going to be so excited and jacked up about policies and procedures. But I think as a company that speaks very loudly to the integrity of Skylar and John and the company itself, you and I have both been in meetings for other companies at other times where when you talked about policies and procedures, it was just more like, yeah, they're there. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
In our company, we want every single person on the call to know, and we want everyone that gets involved with our company to be very protective of the company. Try it to stay inside of compliance. Get your people to understand our policies and procedures, and that'll help them understand our culture, because the reality is this. As a business, as an opportunity, we have a phenomenal culture. When we get together and we have these meetings, it amazes me the quality of people that are in the rooms, the conversations that transpire. Protect your culture, protect your business. And I think all of this starts with training that brand new recruit so they don't get out there and think they heard something or took something a certain way, and now they're out there blasting it to the world, and it's not a good thing for anybody. So I think taking them through all of these materials is really a big deal.
Yeah, and I think a couple of really good points you made on that, Mac, is, you know, look, people have to get excited about the product. If you're not excited about what our product program does for people, then how do you get involved with it? It's so critical. But folks, we also want to make money. I mean, look, as good as anything can be in life. People are only going to do it for a while, you know, unless they make some compensation. I mean, other than being good to your fellow man. Don't get me wrong with that, okay? I'm just talking about when you go out there and you're offering a product or a program, you want to get paid for it. Well, if you understand compensation and you understand how much more you can make and how do I make more money, how important is it that you understand it? So for the recruiter and the recruit, it's equally as important to understand compensation. And like Max says, hey, listen, protect your company. You know what you're doing by protecting your company? You're protecting yourself. You're keeping the company in business. They're doing the things that are right. There's no reason to do anything hokey or say anything that you think might make a sale better or makes it. What we have is so phenomenal, folks. It's incredible. So we don't have to make up anything. Now, I'll say if we had 50% of a room that we went into, and let's just say for an example 100 people there, and 50% of the people had been in other businesses, they would talk about setting goals. Oh my goodness, man, I've been hearing that for 30 years. I've been hearing it for 20 years. If you have no roadmap, if you have no blueprint, how do you know where you're going? It's just like we talked about destination a while ago. If you have no direction and goals, and if you're not setting them yourself, you're not helping your new person set goals and where they want to go, how do you know how to help them? How do you know what direction to give them? And let's say they say, hey, I want to make $1,000 a month. I want to make $3,000 a month. Well, I can't guarantee them they're going to do that, but if I give them a roadmap that says, well, look, for $1,000 a month, here's what you need to do. You need to do at least 3 presentations. Out of that, we probably will close 1 deal, and you should make $1,000 once you're trained. Okay? So you can kind of set those examples, and they learn to set those goals, so you can help them to do that through learning what compensation is, and that's important. Make a plan to earn while they learn. The great thing about our business is you don't have to have a license to do what we do. How incredible that opportunity is to show people how to save money. I'm talking about tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of dollars. And folks, we can do it through an incredible web-based program that shows them how to get out of debt and save tremendous dollars in interest that they would have ordinarily have paid.
You know, and putting your plan together with your agent coming through is getting them out in the field. That's a big part of this, you know, not just going through the compensation plan, but that whole idea of earn while you learn is the whole concept of get into their name list and get those 2 to 3, 4 presentations a week, whatever it is that you need to do, so that you can get them out. And it's both sides. You're earning while you're teaching, because you're out there helping them close the sales, and they're earning money in an area. I mean, when we think about it, the quality of the system that we put in place, you would pay thousands of dollars to have somebody teach you how to sell like this, and all we're telling you to do is come up with a name list of your top people. Let's go out with somebody that's certified, or get on the webinars or whatever. You can listen in on the calls, and the expertise on these calls, it's not winging it. You all really need to understand this, especially if you're brand new. The whole reason for these split sales is take the time to get on the call and be the silent observer in the call and listen to what these closers are saying. And what you'll find out is it's not tricks. It's not, you know, neat little fun statements at the very end of things. Exactly what it is a system of taking a bop, point A, 1, 2, 3, 4, done. Now it's time to make a decision. What are you going to do? Are you going to move forward? Are you going to? And because of the way that information is presented, that's what does it. So that earn to learn is a big piece in what you do moving forward.
You know, I know that, you know, when I first got in the insurance industry 40 years ago, you know, I went to a meeting, and I went to my manager, and I said, okay, what do I do next? And he says, listen, you need to have 2 appointments, 2 to 4 appointments a week. Well, okay, that sounds great. And I don't mean this in a braggadocious way. I'm just saying I was so hungry. I was wanting to do something different and be involved in something, what I felt was really important. Folks, I had 2 appointments Monday night, 2 Tuesday, 2 Wednesday, 2 Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. I mean, I didn't hear 2 to 4 appointments a week. I mean, I heard 2 to 4 appointments a day. And that by getting off, remember, go back to momentum. Do you want to build a momentum? Do you want to build income? How long do you want it to be before you let those things happen? So 2 to 4 minimum presentations a week on the product, 2 to 4 presentations a week minimum for the opportunity, how to get to their first promotion level to a senior associate. Show people this is what you need to do to get your first promotion. Let's get you promoted from an associate to a senior associate. Let's see if we can't do that in a week.
And if you follow that 2 to 4 presentations a week, you're going to get them there pretty darn quick. So that's just another piece to throw in there.
Okay.
Move on to their next fast start, which would be their, you know, executive director fast start.
Emphasize the importance of. There is nothing, I don't know if there's anything that Mac and I could share with you tonight that's more important than follow-up. All the things that we share, yes, they're important. Understand comp, understand video, learn the back office, learn all these things, plug into these things. But as a manager, let's say that, as someone who's recruited someone else, or in a sales situation, either one, follow-up is the most important thing that you can do to find out what's going on. Again, what can I do to help you? What do you need? What's happening in this situation? If it's a prospective client, hey, look, did you need additional information? Maybe if you didn't quite close the sale yet, maybe there was something else, you know, that they needed to know. Follow up quickly. Don't wait forever to do that, because it's a very important thing and part of building a successful business. Just like, we shared with you a minute ago, you've got to start with the blueprint. I'm sure there's many of you on this call tonight saying, you know what, I've been in management for a long time. I've been doing this a long time. These are principles I understand. But listen, it's your job also, as you recruit, and you recruit hundreds or thousands of people. They don't know these points. They don't know what it takes to get started. Folks, in 40 years, I can't tell you how many lists I've made, but that's my blueprint. That's my market of building a business. First thing you do, and we're gonna have this, and we're gonna post it on the back office for you so that you'll have it. We are building right now a fast start, getting started little brochure, and we'll have in that, it's going to have your 100 name list. And with the 100 name list, it'll have where you can write their names. It'll say, do you know someone who's a doctor? Do you know someone who's an engineer? Do you know someone who does this? Do you know, it has that memory jogger in it. And so, you know how to write these names. Then get down to those top 25. Break it down to your top 25 people you know, and then what are the top 10 people? Now, here's how I look at the top 10. Those are the people I'm going to see this week, or I'm going to contact this week. Not over the next month, the next 3 months. That top 10 list is your most precious list that will start and kick off your business.
And if there's something I can say about this, don't be the judge of who should go on your list and who should not. Don't, he wouldn't want to hear about it, or, I've had dealings. This is a golden opportunity, a brand new opportunity. Anybody and everybody that you've ever spoken to, if you had the cure for cancer, you wouldn't keep it to yourself. We have the answer for financial cancer. People should be hearing the message that you have. Don't be the judge of who they hear. And this thing about your top 25 and top 10, Steve brought up something very important there. It's who you're going to see over this week. Okay, it's not necessarily who you think is going to buy and who's not going to buy. It's the people you know you can get in front of the quickest, the fastest, that you're going to have the most impact with, and these are people that you know that you can get moving forward with.
Yeah, so I think that's a great point, Mac. People try to put people into a box, and you really can't, because you don't know who really wants something. You don't know who says, I'm looking for another opportunity, or I'm looking for something. So find out what kind of market do they have. Folks, it's very important. Being in debt is a horrible thing. It's bondage. I mean, it hurts families. It hurts a lot of different situations. But when you're recruiting someone, find out what kind of market they have. What is their center of influence? Well, what does that mean? Well, do other people trust them? Do you know people that like you, trust you? Will if you called them, would they talk to you? Would they let you come over their home? Would they do a webinar with you?
Yeah, and it can go as far as that when you're first starting out, your circle of influence, what did you do for a living? What do you do for a living outside of doing this as a career or a job or trying to get involved in it? If you're a teacher, go talk to school teachers about it. If you're a fireman, go talk to firemen. You want to make that introduction something from your heart, something that's passionate, but that it comes out in language that other people will receive from you as authoritative, as something you know what you're talking about. And the way you put language together, staying inside of those little areas helps you in delivering a message that people think is realistic and is honorable. And so stay inside that circle of influence, and as you expand and as you grow, here's what we do know, Steve, right? People know people you don't.
That's right.
And so as you build your circle of influence will just naturally grow as a natural progression of becoming a leader and training other people into doing what they're doing.
And I think that's an incredible point. And as far as people and their what is the influence that you have on other people, or what is your center of influence? That trust factor. And the other thing is, if I'm gonna recruit someone into my business, do I want to recruit someone that knows one person? No. Or they say, oh well, I'll do it through social media, or I'll do it this way. No. you could do that. You could do it through our funnel system. You could do it. I don't need to hire somebody to do that. I'm looking for their warm market, that they have credibility with them. Get a new agent on appointments. This is so important in 48 to 72 hours. I can't tell you how important that is, because, listen, I have it in here. It's really kind of the third bullet point. Time kills all deals. It takes the enthusiasm, the excitement. It takes, the longer it takes for someone to get out in the field, the more they tend to lose why they got involved in the business, why they got, plugged into it. Get them out there, get them talking with somebody, get them on a webinar, get them on an appointment. Like the old saying goes, hey, strike while the iron is hot. Get a new agent to a live training. We talked about that a while ago. Get a new agent to a live training as soon as possible. Do not delay. Do not put it off. I know that you're the greatest trainer in the world. I realize that. But for them to know the real bigness of the business is important. Communicate with new agent on a daily basis. At worst, weekly. Teach them what to say for an appointment. Follow up, follow up, follow up. We can't say that enough. Now,
get yourself some really simple goals with your agents when you want to get them all hooked in together. Look, the reality is this. You're good if you're doing 3 recruits, 2, 3 sales, 30 days. You're great if you're doing 5 in 30 days. But if you want to get that excellent, try to be doing 10 and 10 for recruits and sales, and just build from there, and don't make assumptions on who wants to hear it and who does not want to hear it. Everything that we've gone over today is plugging somebody into a system and getting them moving into a certain direction. And, Steve, with all of his background and everything that he has done, and my background, and the people that we have out in the field and what they've been doing, one thing that we know, the lifeblood of our business. You can say it any way you want. I mean, you have to have good IT, and you got to have good phones, but the lifeblood is recruiting. The lifeblood is getting that new person. When you feel stifled, when you feel overrun, when you feel like it's been too much, there's nothing that will energize you, nothing that will excite you more than getting a new prospect for a sale or a new agent that wants to learn something and reinvigorate you. So there's an old saying, ABC, always be closing. I want to say ABB, always be building. Understand that your prospect list is your greatest inventory. It's your greatest asset next to your telephone, next to that. But always be building and closing.
Protect your list, protect your prospect list, add to it, always add to it daily. Protect your market. What to say and what not to say is equally as important. What's compliant, what's not compliant, and you learn all these things. And listen, we teach them on these classes on Mondays, which we're going to Tuesdays, but we also teach them the live events as well. Some will, some won't. So what? You just got to move on and find those who will get excited about it and who want to be a part of something great. In summary, hey, new recruits got to be willing to follow a proven successful system, walk the new recruit through their own analysis, go through the GPS selling system with the new agent, have the new agent purchase the program if they qualify, make sure the new recruit is familiar with their back office, make sure the new agent understands the compensation, policies, and procedures, they set their goals, they create their name list, and they get on appointments in 48 to 72 hours, and then we can barely see at the bottom, but follow up, follow up, follow up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, get your people plugged in. The most important thing is to let them know that they're supported, that you have a team that they can rely on, that they can get the answers that they need. This is something that I want to challenge everyone out there that is a leader. Stay in communication with your people frequently and ask them what are the things that you're having difficulty getting answers to. We know that we're going through explosion. We are in an active hiring mode, building out our customer support, building out our Facebook presence. Everything is moving in a phenomenal direction for all parties concerned, and we couldn't be prouder of anybody and everybody in the field. And with that having been said, Steve and I, it's been a while since Steve and I have actually done a call together, and I hope you all felt the same way. I felt very good about this call. I love having Steve sitting right here next to me, and I'm going to let Steve say some final words and close it out. So thank you all so much for this evening.
Hey, we really want to keep these things down to 60 minutes, and folks in that, but we want to teach you something. And tomorrow there will be the releases on those on the IT. But listen, it's nothing that's complicated, nothing that's going to bother your business. That will be on the back office. It'll be recorded. He's working on that. That'll be introduced, and you'll have it available to you tomorrow. It's not going to be any shocking big changes or anything, but you do need to pay attention to it, okay, and follow what it's going to be explaining to you about different situations and positions in the company and what they mean, basically, and teaching you that. So, folks, we're so excited about what's happening in the company. You're at the right place at the right time. Hope that many of you can look at maybe possibly going to San Luis Obispo. It's a great area of the country, Central California. Get there. It's the last major event of the year that we're going to be able to have, and we're going to be packing out that first quarter of next year as well. So thanks, everyone, for being on the call tonight. It's been a great evening, so good luck to you, and good selling and good recruiting, okay? Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye for now.